Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film Mud. Two Arkansas teenagers, Ellis and Neckbone, who go to find a boat that's stuck up in a tree that was brought there by the last hurricane or flood or something. And they're going to fix it up, only to discover that a man is living there, and his name is Mud, and he is played by Matthew McConaughey. He's a fugitive who's stuck on this little island that they had to get their boat to go see this boat that's stuck in the tree. And he's stuck there waiting for someone, supposedly. They make friends with him while they try to fix up this boat and then get him off the island, and they make a deal with him and then bring him food and soon become fast friends and try to evade the authorities and connect with his long-lost love, played by Reese Witherspoon. Mud has an interesting tone to it because it's very understated, but at the same time it's mythic. Usually when the film does the understated kind of mythic thing, they're usually using an understated feel to make things more magical and more mythical and more like beyond belief. But Mud isn't like that. Mud is keeping all that within that understatement. Other than the kind of the third act at the very end, it really stays within that tone and does a very good job at writing that line. Matthew McConaughey's character, Mud, is very mythical. He suddenly feels like he disappears, like he's Batman or something. He doesn't seem real. You're seeing this through the perspective of two young boys, so maybe that's how they view Mud. I'm not sure that was the point, but maybe that's why. I like the way they handled kind of the mythical qualities to it. I mean, a boat stuck in a tree and things like that, but it never felt like a fairy tale or something. It felt very kind of folksy. I didn't really like, however, how they treated women in this film. I think women were treated very kind of flighty and looking for the next good thing to come along and not as loyal as these men are. I don't really like that as much, and it does feel like this is more of a dick pic, to be honest, because it's more from the male perspective. I like what it says about men and friendships and relationships with their fathers and things like that, and the relationship with Mud that the young boys have. Even though this is understated and feeling more, I guess, like realism in a weird way, even though it is kind of mythic, it's kind of breaking with that by having a distinct perspective on women. That was a little odd. The men in this film had such a wide range, and the women in this film, they seemed to go with what was best for them, not necessarily what was loyal, and it seemed like the men in this film were more concerned with loyalty. It's a slow film, and honestly I got a little drowsy while watching it. I wasn't exactly sure where it was going. I was happy with where it eventually got to. Mud kind of feels like a movie you'd see get released in September in the 90s. It felt like a small studio movie that didn't know what it was doing. But that's not what it is ultimately. I think it is definitely trying to achieve something with its folksy, understated feel, and it works fairly well with it. It had a great cast. Matthew McConaughey continuing his big, indie movie resurgence. Apparently the director of this film had wanted to cast him for a long time, had seen him in the film Lone Star from the 90s and wanted him to play this role. It almost went to Chris Pine, actually. The kid who plays Ellis, Ty Sheridan, who is also in Tree of Life, he's pretty much the main character of the film. He brought that boyhood innocence and wonder to the film. I don't really know why someone like Reese Witherspoon did such a small role in a film like this. I did like seeing Jodan Baker, who looks a lot older and sicklier than he used to. I was almost not sure if it was Jodan Baker, but I love seeing Mitchell in anything. It is probably one of my more favorite Jodan Baker roles I've ever seen. Jodan Baker kind of has a type, and it was so against type for Jodan Baker, and he did it so well. It wasn't just that it was against type and that was surprising, but he was very good. I'm surprised that I actually like Jodan Baker in a movie that wasn't Mitchell. There's not much showy cinematography. It's not really a showy movie. It's just very slow and acting like it's simple. I don't know if it's as simple as it acts like it is. It's like this slow movie about some Arkansas teenagers in the summer where they meet this guy named Mud. And it's an interesting film. I don't really love it. I don't love it as much as everyone else. I certainly like it. Its understated quality, I think, makes it kind of a long watch. Not a bad long watch, necessarily. Not that it's awful. It's not Place Beyond the Pines where it was like that was too long. This is still long, and in the end it's worth it, but it was just a little tough to get through. I guess the thing is, I'm just not really that in love with it. I just kind of liked it. So if you've seen Mud and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to. Maybe this is stupid, but for a movie called Mud, how can they have not used the song My Name is Mud by Primus? That's just, I think, a failure on all fronts.